Welcome back to Critical Mass, and I think we're about to have our first argument.
That's right.
Which I'm very excited for.
I am too. We normally pretty much agree on everything within like a half a grade or
exactly.
so. Exactly.
And I think it's time for a fight.
I agree.
So let's talk about RoboCop.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so first, RoboCop is an updated in every way version of the 1987 original. It just takes that movie and makes it a little bit sleeker. So let's take our first look.
Alex, listen to me. The EM-208s will try to maneuver you so Maddox can get a clear shot. Do not let that happen. If Maddox hits you, everything but your life support will shut down. You'll feel more pain than you've ever felt in your life.
I don't know about that. I've been through a lot.
All right. I say we go in 3. 3. How's it going down there? Whatever you do, don't get shot in the face.
Okay, that's the clip where they decide that RoboCop needs to actually act like a machine when he's in stealth mode or fighting mode. When his visor comes down and he's actually assaulting criminals, they need to take the human element out, and he just acts as a machine. And they're testing him, taking on these other robotic. Well, they are robots. They're not cyborgs or anything. And that's the first time where we really see him in an action scene, taking on some stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that you liked this more than I do.
Why didn't you love this movie? What's your problem?
Part of the problem is they called it RoboCop. I mean, you're going to have those comparisons if you're going to call it. If they had called this Cyber Guard or something, maybe
that's
we
the
could
cheap knockoff.
Yeah. But they call it RoboCop, and it's still Alex Murphy, and it's still OCP and all this stuff. So I think comparisons are fair. And
they are.
And if someone said to me, which one would you rather rewatch right now, it would be 1987. Even though I've seen it 10 times. I didn't think this movie was very memorable.
Okay, so you'd rather see the original because it has nostalgic value for you.
Because I think it's better.
Well, it is better, but does that make RoboCop any less of a movie? Because it's still, for remake's sake, quite good.
As a standalone movie, as a comparison, I was like, this is pretty average action flick to me. I thought the opening sequence with Samuel Jackson was actually pretty slow.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, when is this movie going to start? And then they get into the titles, and I thought, all of that was pretty slow too. About an hour mark, I went, now it starts to kick in. And then the end whimpered.
Okay.
So basically it had a good
whimpered.
middle for me.
Really?
Yeah.
From start to about an hour and a half in, I was along for the ride.
Oh, I was.
Because, when you see the little line go, that's usually growling at the beginning, and it's Samuel L. Jackson basically clearing his throat.
That was funny.
I'm like, I think I already like this movie. I had lower than low expectations. And obviously that will help me like a movie more if it's half good.
Yeah.
But it was an origin story for RoboCop.
Sure.
And RoboCop, the character of Alex Murphy is played by Joel Kinnaman from The Killing.
Who has like half the likability of Peter Weller.
See, I disagree. I think Peter Weller was so robotic, and I'm RoboCop, and I just thought he was lifeless. And that was his character. He was supposed to play a robot, no longer human.
Sure.
Joel Kinnaman was actually playing a human in a robot body.
Sure.
Until they mess with his brain, take stuff out, and say, you're a killing machine.
Right.
So I like that spin on the character more than just straight robot.
See, I had no problems with Peter Weller acting like a robot when he's a robot. It would be like being mad at Leonard Nimoy for being emotionless as Spock. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
But before he got into RoboCop, I thought he was a more likable person and character.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Peter Weller's character.
Okay, I can agree with that.
And I didn't like a lot of the changes, and I didn't think it was as direct of a threat to him as the other movie.
Which is why the ending was rushed.
It's murky.
Yeah. There wasn't enough intent for us to hate the grand villain.
And Antoine, no Clarence Boddicker, man. No one
Okay.
had the charisma of Richard
Yeah.
or Clarence in that movie, as far as the evil guys were concerned.
Yeah.
You know?
But, I mean, did you not feel anything when they removed all the robot body and everything and you saw what was left of his remains? Was that not horrific?
No, I thought that was really cool. I expected the effects to be better. I expected the action to be
I
better.
disagree. I think
But-
the effects were on. As far as, like, the
No,
previews
no,
looked
no.
awful.
I'm saying better than the original.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
I expected better effects, and I got them, and I expected better action, and I got it. But I thought they took out most of the satire and a lot of the humor.
I think it was absolutely necessary. Because they didn't want to straight up say, we're a camp movie again. Because the first one, to me, was kind of a grindhouse movie.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Very violent, just
Yeah.
insatiable in every way. And he was funny.
It was. It had a lot of great lines,
And it was
too.
just a parody of society and, utopias and everything. This one just needed to go a different route. So it wouldn't be seen as a straight remake. It needed to be accessible. And that's
Well,
exactly what it was.
But it tried some of the satire, especially with Samuel L. Jackson's character acting like a bit of a typical Fox News, guy.
Yes.
In fact, we have a clip just showing you RoboCop is introduced the first time and at like a press conference. And he walks right out into the audience and arrests someone immediately because he's hooked into the database and he spots him. And so Samuel L. Jackson is telling the general public just how awesome he is after that arrest in this clip.
Until today, Thomas King was a convicted felon, wanted for rape, arson, and murder. Here he is, just steps away from two of Detroit's finest. These two officers are completely unaware of the monster in their midst. And then, in 60 seconds, I repeat, just 60 seconds, Detective Murphy brings him
You have the
down.
right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you.
This, my friends, is the future of American justice. How many, like Thomas King, will pay for their crimes now that RoboCop is here?
Okay, as we can see there, we have Samuel L. Jackson. He actually provides the only humor in the movie. I mean, it's nearly a humorless movie, except for his, like, bombastic take.
Him and Jay.
Jay Baruchel.
Baruchel
A little bit,
gives
kinda
a
playing this
couple
goon.
lines. But you know what? I didn't think Samuel Jackson did a great job here. If he was trying to channel a bit of like a Bill O'Reilly-ish kind of
Yes, he
I'm
was.
so sure of America kind of thing, I don't think he did it.
Really?
I don't think the satire from the original, the commentary on society or anything was in this like almost at all, except for his speech at the end about America and its greatness and drones and stuff.
But it's still just so tongue-in-cheek that you
Yeah.
almost have to pay attention and be like, and watch a lot of cable news to really
to
understand.
really get it, yeah.
And we both kind of get it, but
Yeah.
I thought he was funny, except for it seems like he came in for the weekend and they just paid him a bunch of money to put on a wig and play the role, because he's
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
But the rest of the cast, I thought was pretty great. I mean, you have Gary Oldman playing another one of these parts where he's just incredibly likable, and he's kind of a gray character because he's the guy that creates RoboCop. Mm-hmm. But he's a good guy working for Omnicorp, who is bad.
Yeah, he gets forced to do a lot of things he
Yeah.
does, and in the end, he tries to get
They're
out
kind of
of it.
redeeming factor.
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing him in any role, basically.
I enjoy
And
seeing
this-
Abby Cornish in any role.
Agreed. And Michael Keaton was able to be Michael Keaton again.
Yeah,
He just went a little nuts, and that's what he does best.
yeah.
So I just think, Joel Kinnaman, not very well known. He didn't need to be for this role. Kind of like Peter Weller back in the 80s.
True.
But the rest of the cast surrounding him, pretty good.
Yeah, but again, I don't think that Michael Keaton was all that menacing as a bad
No,
guy.
no, he shouldn't have been the bad guy.
And
To be honest with you, I would have had them wait for a sequel, and then RoboCop go against Omnicorp. Because
Yeah.
that's going to happen.
yeah,
But they spent too much time on his original origin story and then quickly just rushed.
Yeah.
So it is pretty flawed there. But as far as like making a modern action movie accessible for everyone, yes, I'm bummed about no R rating. But it worked. The PG-13 worked for me.
you know what? I'm I like the original RoboCop a lot. I think the
Yeah.
R rating worked for that movie. They did a whole lot of really cool stuff in here with PG-13.
Yeah.
Those effects with his organs, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That action sequence we showed earlier, some of the other ones, they're hard hitting. You know, as its own movie, I don't think it needed to go R. It was cool.
Was
but
it too slick for you though? Like, was it too standardized as an action movie?
to me, there just wasn't enough to it.
Okay.
As an action movie. For like I say, for me, it took a long time to get cooking, and then it petered out in the end.
Okay.
So to me, it had like a good middle, right?
And that's not enough.
It's not enough
you.
for me. And I can't help but compare it to RoboCop because
Yeah.
it is. And I'm sorry, I don't think the satire was there. The humor is definitely gone. No really good bad guy, and that movie had two of them.
It did.
And
Okay.
where are all the cool lines?
They threw them in slyly. They didn't quite work.
I mean, but where are all the
But
its own cool
the
lines?
80s, that's true. But the 80s were made for one-liner movies.
Yeah.
And now we're in a time when it's like, okay, nice punchline.
Uh-huh.
You know, we don't need that anymore.
But
It
what
felt forced even when they said them.
what I think is interesting about RoboCop is it has so many good lines, even just as regular dialogue. In fact,
Yeah.
let's show a clip from the original RoboCop, which is
Awesome.
in probably SD right now. Okay, I'm sorry, it's going to look like it's on a VHS. But this is the shoot 'em up scene where Clarence runs into another drug gang in a warehouse, and they're negotiating, and RoboCop comes in to take everybody down. Now, we're going to have to bleep some of this stuff because it is R-rated, but, oh wait, it's online.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's keep it in.
I don't think I want to pay that, Sal.
I don't give a shit what you want to pay. I set the prices here.
Listen, pal, maybe you haven't heard. I'm the guy in old Detroit. You want space in my marketplace? You're gonna have to give me a volume discount.
Not into discounts.
Yo, show the man what we brought him for Christmas. Think about it, chum. Good business is where you find it.
Bring out a load of top.
Okay, let me try to put this in perspective. Killed a bunch of cops. Word around is that you've got a lot of heavy connections downtown. You make a lot of my friends nervous. A lot of people would love to see a guy like me, a guy like you out of business.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not making myself clear. I don't want to fuck with you, son. But I got the connections. I got the sales organization. I got the muscle to shove enough of this factory so far up your stupid wop ass that you'll shit snow for a year.
Frankie, blow this cocksucker's head off.
Ooh, guns. Come on, Sal. Tigers are playing. Tonight. I never miss a game.
Just kidding.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
Fuck you!
Lawrence Bodiger. You are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Fuck you! Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute! I'm protected, man. I've got protection!
You have the right to an attorney.
What is this shit? God damn it! God damn it! Listen to me! Listen to me, you fuck! There's another guy! He's OCP, he's the senior president!
Anything you say may be used against you.
It's Dick You cocksucker! I work for Dick Jones! Dick Jones! He's the number 2 guy at OCP! OCP runs the cops! You're a cop! Cop!
Yes, I am a cop.
Now that is a funny action flick with violence and everything, but it's even that scene. It didn't have some of the classic lines of "I'll buy that for $1" or "Come with me," there'll be trouble.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. But almost every one of those bits of dialogue is quotable. Just, I never miss a game. Just the whole era. How can you say this movie is as good as RoboCop?
Oh, no, I can't say that.
Okay.
But it's still a good movie and very surprising. In fact, I don't think the original RoboCop is untouchable. I think it's a fun movie. The only director that could do that now, even that type of movie, is like Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. Because it was kind of B-movie-ish grindhouse,
yes.
as you said even earlier.
Yeah, or maybe the original director is Verhoeven. But I don't think it's untouchable. I think it's okay. I didn't want them to remake it.
Yeah.
But I think it turned out pretty well.
Okay, I didn't want them to remake it. I don't think it's untouchable, but I don't think this one touched it. And again, choosing between which one would I rather watch? Again, right now, it's 1987 RoboCop, just because I think it's a better movie all around. With lots of good funny stuff, lots of good action stuff, some horrible gross stuff, great characters, great bad guys, and I think it holds together as a total movie better than.
And I think the nostalgia kind of glues that all together.
Could be, yeah.
Because it's pretty sloppy as well.
Yeah, there's some sloppy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you give the new RoboCop?
C. I think it's an average action flick.
Okay, and I'd give it a B. And I feel like we should disagree more, but I give it a B. I think it's solid. I think it's good to take the guys out and go see an action movie, especially on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I don't think it's crap. It's not badly done, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it takes a while to get cooking, and then peters out in the end. And sorry, you named it RoboCop. I'm going to compare it. It's average compared with RoboCop. Yeah, call it Cyber Mall Guard, but don't call it RoboCop because it ain't.
But it is.
Well, that's it for this episode. We didn't get to any indies because sadly we didn't get to see them in time. But we still want to thank Art House Cinema 502 for letting us shoot in their place, and we do get to talk indies next week with The Rocket. And we also want to thank the Movie Grill and our awesome crew here at Critical Mass, as well as Indie Ogden. Now, next week, what are we talking about?
We have 3 Days to Kill with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I want to say Liam Neeson because
Liam
it's that kind of movie.
Right.
And then maybe Pompeii.
Yeah.
They're not screening it as of now.
I wonder why.
Aw.
Which means you'd have to pay to see it.
It's going to be a disasterful disaster movie.
And you paid to see Vampire Academy.
Let's not talk about that, please.
All right.
All right, so join us next time. And remember, we're not cynical.
We're just critical.
See you next time.
There's a difference.
Come on. There we go. Okay. I got the manly clap.
I got the manly clap from the hookers in Ogden.
Historic hookers.